Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another battle on Total War Attila. So, we've gone for a slightly different army composition to we've got quite a range intensive army with these Vandals. That's the plan at least. Get these guys into alliance. They're going to be my first unit. We've got a few pikes, just because they were absolutely dirt cheap. They're the cheapest, crappiest pike infantry you could ever imagine. But what I want them for, they shall do me just fine. Which is just as a sort of a front line, filling up a bit of a space type unit. We've then got some more of our spear infantry, and then quite a few heavy flanking warriors. We're going to hold slightly further back as sort of a backup force. Well, not as a backup force, but as an aggressive flanking force. They're going to try and win those flanks. And let's get these two here in a similar sort of position on that side. That gives us a pretty good rounded loadout. We've got a Vandal Warlord, and then we've got our two noble Alemanni Cavalry. Alani Cavalry? I don't know how to pronounce it. I think I'm going to put all them on one flank, to be honest. So they're going to give us a relatively good sort of cavalry flanking force. They're pretty elite, some of these units. Noble Vandal Cavalry, they look pretty cool. The helmets are particularly nice. Then we've got Alani Cavalry. These guys are obviously quite experienced cavalry. Hopefully going to be winning as the cavalry fight. And then because we're fighting against the Sassanids, I thought they're more likely to be quite a fairly missile intensive force. So I thought it would have been good to, that's why I've taken quite so many range units. So to attempt to counter that, that's why we've got 5 units of slingers. We've got all our little light pikes in the front. Look pretty badass, but they've got basically no armor. Look at that, armor value of 8. So if anything gets past this line of pikes, then they're going to get absolutely mullered. But hopefully that line of pikes will be enough to kind of prop them up in position and help them to sort of hold out this for a while. Obviously on the flanks we've got the very heavy and noble Sway-by swordsmen. Their sort of lamella scale armor, ground shields and swords and helmets. They're pretty well armoured. They've got pretty good attack and a really awesome melee damage, which is why they're hoping they're going to be the aggressive flanking sort of force. And if nothing else, they've got some pretty badass spindly beards. So that is at least got to count for something in this sort of thing. So let's get started here. We're ready up. See if our opponent's about ready, which he is. And let's just have a quick look what we can see and what we're facing up against. So we've got some crossbow cavalry, some Persian mounted warriors, very heavy spear infantry, some elite immortals here up front. Wow, looking exceedingly professional, aren't they? I guess that's the Sassanids. Sassanids with the elite immortals. That's nice. But not that much in the way of range, at least provisionally we can't see that much in the way of range. Or some elephants there. So, it looks like it's mostly this way. So let's just firstly shift ourselves over a little bit. And let's move up to this sort of tree line, for want of a better word. Get our guys positioned a little bit there, how we want them. Nice. Yeah, so if we've got the range advantage, that's going to mean we can be a little bit more passive if we can win the range fight. He's got his Savaran cavalry. Are these actually cavalry or camels? Oh, they're actually cavalry. I don't think they're going to be a massive threat. There's a couple of crossbow cavalry, only 60 of them. You know, realistically, what are they going to be? What are they going to achieve other than a bit of scouting? Which I suppose is not, you know, worthless, but still not going to be super effective. I shouldn't have thought. Come on, guys. Get what on attack you can. I can never figure this Attila trolls out. That just seems so different to Rome 2. Oh, we've lost visual on him. Go on, form ranks, attack him. Come on, guys, start shooting. What are you doing? Slingers are not doing a very good job here. Okay, we're starting to get a few stones are coming out finally. And we lost a bit of visual on them. Not an ambush. No, they're not. Here we go. We're getting a few volleys on now. Any casualties? 1! Yes, it's the first kill. I don't think we've lost anyone yet. No, we haven't. Nice. Okay, this is now what I wanted. Finally starting to get our units to bear. Oh, we've lost a slinger. Man down. But in this sort of situation, these crossbow units too much on their own. Really not very favourable for this sort of fight. They're going to take quite a few casualties, which they're now starting to do. Starting to rack up, starting to lose unit health. Oh. Interesting move. Let's just pull these guys back. He's going to start threatening us with his cavalry. Oh, Germanic spearmen there, so it's going to be a bit of a brave move, I would have thought. Get our guys to line up there. Ready, Forrest, can't see a thing. Do you think he knows I've got these spearmen? Are they hidden? They are actually hidden. And there go the javelins. I didn't realise those concealed units there. He's going for the pullback. He's realised his mistake. Some of his units got caught up in the melee fight, though. Oh, down he goes. They're throwing axes at him. I love the barbarian units so much. They're so cool. That was an expensive mistake for him. He took some casualties on some pretty heavy, some of his Persian mounted warriors there. I don't think he was expecting that. Let's get everyone moving up again then. Start to apply a bit of pressure as we're starting to get him a little bit on the defensive. Looks like I would say we outsize his lines slightly, which is good for us. Ooh. What's going on here? Neat lines, please. Neat lines. Yeah, okay. Let's bring our cavalry up as well. Get you into a nicer formation. I hate the formation controls in this game. I know I'm missing something, I'm sure, but it just feels so clunky to me. Always seems to be the same. So we've lost where his cavalry's gone. They obviously suck cover in some of the woods over here, which is kind of annoying because it means we can't really drive them out. And I'm not sure putting my cavalry over this way is the right move because it's kind of limiting my areas of control somewhat. Get these guys into a slightly better position. We have a precision shot, missile damage plus 50 but more fatigue. We'll certainly be using that if we get into the battle because that extra damage, 50% damage, is going to take our damage from 50 I think to sort of about 75, something like that. Come on guys, start to get your engagements on. We're going a little bit far back there actually. Just push these guys forward a little bit. Provide some protection from their cavalry. Our guys should be returning fire now, hopefully. Are they? Are you shooting? You are. Let's go for your precision shot. Try and get that extra damage. Yeah, it's taking their missile damage to 75, but I fear it's not really helping us. Their slings are just doing so much more damage to us than we are to them. Some of our guys are really having a hard time getting in position, seem to not really be firing. And the middle ones are just routing and broken already, so that's really not good for us. Kind of surprising. Pull you guys back because you're about to be threatened by the cavalry. They're actually getting threatened by the cavalry. They may also end up running onto the pikes if they're not careful. Our pike's going to take a lot of casualties from those guys if they start to push us. So, let's pick about pulling our cavalry back around this way and start to threaten some of their cavalry because they're really dominant on this flank and that's kind of not really being very favourable for us. I think we should probably start to think about moving up. Start to push our lines a little bit. Something like that. That's when it doesn't pan out. I just don't understand these controls. Let's get you guys. Come on. What happened to the neat lines that I'd given you all?
Our general is being attacked.
Is he? Why is he being attacked? Oh, by the slingers. And these guys have lost their units. Oh, we seem to have caught up some of their cavalry. Let's get our cavalry over here to try and get them stuck in. Hopefully our guys can get a little bit of damage in there. We'll have a bit of a cavalry fight if they're prepared to take it. Oh, we seem to have caught onto some elephants. So what have we got? We've got our Germanic swords here. What are these? Yeah, we'll go with them. get stuck in. We'll take that cavalry fight. Push you guys up. Oh, our guys are not having much fun in the centre by the looks of it. Let's rear flank some of these heavy immortals. If you can try not to get caught on that too much, that would be nice. Push you through. God, this is a bit of an intense fight so far. Well, actually, no, I want you to fire on the elephants if you can. I don't understand why, when I select the unit and tell it to attack, they just seem to attack randomly. I have to actually click on each unit individually and tell them what to do before they will actually engage. So we've hopefully got those guys there a little bit surrounded some of those immortals. And the pipeline is kind of holding. Get those guys around a little bit there. And then bring our cavalry back over. They're going to be important in this fight. We can perhaps start to use some of them to pressure those guys down there. Looks like the elephants are broken. Nice. The generals recently died, so the elephants did not like that. Our swords are having a bit of a hard time, though. Our sword by swordsmen are struggling against their meta infantry. Kind of understandable. Just trying to bring our cavalry over. Get those guys to engage at the back. I'll bring this cavalry round. Come on, cavalry. Quickly now, please. Get those pikes to start to apply the pressure on them. It's good. Our pikes did a good job because they've held up some of their most elite infantry. And while they're not necessarily doing well, you know, they're actually holding as well as our swords as well. Get those guys to engage those Armenian spears over there. And it's going to free up 2 units there to control as I will. These guys should cut these down. Oof, the heavy Elene cavalry should wreak havoc among those slingers. It's obviously exactly what we want. Where are you going to go for? You can go for those elite immortals there. And our general can perhaps rear flank some of these Armenian slingers. Hopefully get a bit of damage in there. Yep, those slingers there are broken. Good job, cavalry. This is where cavalry becomes dominant. Because we can start to really throw our weight around as and how we want. Let's give it our freedom on those guys. Those guys are chasing people off, which is not really what we want you to be doing. So you come back, engage these heavy immortals on the flanks. But we've got the dominance now. They've got their elite units left, but they were held up too much by the pikemen. And we've got our elite units. Their elite units are all pinned down. We can start to work on picking them off in sort of vastly superior numbers. And you can see their morale is breaking, and that's pretty much them gone because the last units are now going to break very shortly. Particularly as they get rear flanked by these heavy noble swordsmen. Those immortals should go down pretty quickly. They're wavering. They want to break. They're just too immortal. Come on, die. And I think that's their last unit, to be honest. It is. These immortals are such a good unit. But essentially, I think once they realise the army is lost, try and get them with a little bit of a morale debuff as well if we can. You can activate that. There they go. They have broken. And it is a close victory for us, but a victory nonetheless for the Vandals against the Sassanids. Yeah, I really enjoyed these little battles. Those Immortals were good units, but they are pretty sort of small numbers, I think was the problem there. They went for very elite units, which didn't really pan out in terms of this sort of battle. But anyway, a good fight and a fair opponent nonetheless. So hopefully you enjoyed this video of a video. Don't know what I'm saying. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now I've completely lost my train of thought. Subscribe to the channel, and I shall see you all next time.